Alright, well, unfortunately, today's the day. I'm in the G80 M3 right now. And I'm on the way to the dealership to sell this car to the dealership. Not an easy day for me. This has been by far the nicest car I've ever owned. One of the best experiences owning a car ever. It's the most ultimate daily in my opinion. I literally don't think there's anything else better in the world, I'd even argue, for my criteria at least. I like manual, I like rear-wheel drive, fast, driftable, sedan, nice-ish, performance, that's the main thing right there, performance, and affordable. And this car, it's all of that and some. It's ticked every single box that I could ask for. Wow, what a fucking amazing ass car, and what a joy to own it. Unfortunately, I need to make some more adult decisions while also still trying to be a child about my car stuff. So we gotta let it go. I need some little bit of investment money at the shop, and this is where it's at, unfortunately. It's stuck in this car, so we got to do this. But I really pray that one day I'm back in one of these in a more permanent way, not temporary, and hopefully I'll be in a better financial position to be able to actually own, mod, and afford one long term. Last drive. Well, the deed is almost done. They're just finalizing little bits of paperwork. Figured I'd step out and just get a last clip of the car. Probably one of the coolest, best cars I've ever owned. Definitely the nicest car I've ever owned. This will be one I definitely remember forever until I get another one, which hopefully will happen one day. Welcome back to another video. I haven't made a video in a while. Sorry, been having some personal stuff that I've been dealing with and some health issues, but won't dwell on that too long. We're back. Today I got kind of a special video, something that I've been waiting for a very, very long time. So starting 19 months ago, I bought a car, and we'll just get right into the video. So me and James left roughly, it was like 4 a.m. sharp actually, and we just made it here to the Jacksonville port to pick up what you'll see here shortly. So James and I had to get these high visibility jackets. Hey, you know you're our first escort ever? So now our escort is escorting us to where we need to go. All right, she stopped us right here, so we're assuming it might be in this lot. Looks like the car is parked inside this warehouse, and we're just gonna pull right into the warehouse and I guess load it up there. They said it doesn't happen often, but it's parked inside. Kind of nice. Ooh, I see it. I see it. Holy crap, this is huge. And there's not that many cars parked in here. The 19-month wait. Here she is. So we're jacking the front of the trailer up. The car is pretty high off the ground, so we'll see if we can get it on there. The car's completely dead. We just put 5 gallons of fuel in it, checked the oil, there was oil. Now this seat positioning is so small, I don't think I'm gonna fit in here. So James might have to drive it onto the trailer. Come on, baby. Oh, you're a fuel pump. I don't either, but it might just be factory, so it might be quiet. All right, it's getting fuel. Ooh, stock sound.
What is this shit?
The windows work? Okay. What do you mean, dude? That's like Gucci Couture. And both windows work? Okay. All right, I guess pull her out to the trailer. It's got a two-way in it, so it might make some sounds. This thing sounds so stock. See if it, let's just see if it comes up first. All right, what was your name?
Officer Williams.
Officer Williams. Officer Williams was our escort here today. It's super easy to come get the car. We had a little bit of trouble loading it up. The ramps want to keep sliding in, but we're all loaded up. We got about a 6.5 hour drive back. I'm so excited. Oh yeah, I gotta close the hood. Yep. We're all set. And just like that, we're back in the truck. She's about to escort us out of here. And then we're good to go. I didn't know S chassis stuff was that advanced. Like the calipers? Does donuts, that's a plus.
Good way to break in a freshly imported car.
That 2-year-old Japanese oil. Well, here it is. My brand new S15, new to me car. I've been waiting for this car for 18 or 19, going on 19 months now. It has been one of the longest waits of my life. I've tried not to think about it over the course of that time, but I bought this car June of 2023 for my birthday, the day right before my birthday, and it was legal September of this year, and had a little shipping backup ordeal, and it is here now, late December, just in time for Christmas or around Christmas time. Yeah. Merry effing Christmas. The S15 Sylvia is by far one of my all-time favorite JDM cars. It is one of my dream JDM cars. I've always loved S chassis. Unfortunately, we never got these cars here in the US, or else I would have had one many moons ago. But they're legal now. As of 1999 cars, legal in 2024. So probably seen a lot of them come into the US. I tried my best to find an early month model of this year, but this was just the one that I landed on, that the price seemed to be right. I liked what the car was and what it had going for it. And it was a good price. It wasn't some astronomical spec R price. It's not a spec R, by the way. This is, from my understanding, it's a spec S, but it has an S15 DET SR in it, and a 5-speed trans. And it's got a bunch of other, parts on the car, but it had good bones from what I was looking at, and now that I have the car back, we've kind of already thoroughly looked through it over the course of today and last night when we got back in. The car has really good bones. It definitely needs some love, it needs some work, it needs some things to be able to make it work for me. Main thing is like I can't even fit in the car. Like I have to cram myself in there. It's got a little roll cage ordeal that sits really far forward, and then some seat bracket that doesn't sit low enough. S15s are tight. They're probably the tighter of the chassis as far as the cockpit goes. So definitely gonna have to make a bunch of little modifications to make it my own, but that's within due time. My plans are gonna be to daily it. I know, might be kind of crazy, but not like the only daily, like this is the only vehicle that I gotta rely on. Obviously, if I gotta go make some cross-country trip or something, I'm taking the truck. You know, I'm not gonna rely on this, but I wanna drive this car fairly daily. I had a Skyline many years ago, and that car for me is kind of what this is replacing. That Skyline was a bit of a do-it-all car. Like, it wasn't a specific drift car, but it had good drift parts on it, so it drifted really well. It was a great street car. I drove that car all the time. So this is kind of what I'm trying to replicate. Just a good street car that drifts well, multi-purpose, nothing too crazy on the drift side. You know, obviously not the most comfortable car to go hop in and daily drive every single day, but something that's kind of in between there to where I can drive this, you know, a handful of times every week, anywhere local in the area, go to car meets, you know, maybe take it up to the mountains, maybe go drive it to a drift event, drive the drift event, then come back home. Kind of like I did with my S13 Sylvia back when it had an SR in it. But I was younger back then too, and I was able to handle, you know, a raggedy car, no heat, no AC, no nothing. This car has heat, has AC, so I should be able to drive it all year round and be able to cruise in it. And as long as I don't go too crazy on it and make, you know, stupid decisions trying to do some crazy stuff with it to where there's a lot of downtime with the car, then I should be able to drive it all the time. So we got in late last night, and obviously I wanted to just drive the car up and down the street. So we did. Obviously there's some sketchy stuff with the car, like the right brake caliper is C, so it keeps tugging at the wheel, you know, when the rotor rotates in it. But we drove it a little bit last night, straight off the port, straight off the trailer, did some donuts. And then today, obviously came up to the shop and wanted to get a deeper look into it. So had it on the lift last night already, looked under it, looked through the car just to kind of get an idea of what I'm going to be dealing with. But today we had some fun with it too. I hit some more donuts just to get the car sideways, hit a turn. All right, let's do a little walk around. We'll start on the outside. Oh, by the way, the car is raised this drastically for shipping. So obviously it's not gonna be at this ride height, but just haven't dug into it yet. So starting on the outside, this looks to be, well, it is. It's a 326 power kit, body kit, and front fender is one of their versions of the fenders they have. The rear looks to be Origin, but I'm not absolutely sure. These rear spoiler deck lid things, these are my favorite, hands down. These parts will not be leaving this car at all. I love this, I love that. Don't know what brand, pretty sure they're D-Max. I wanna say the Origin ones are way longer than this. I like these, they're sleek, they look good. They're not too much, but I'm a big fan of drag wings. I have it on that car as well. or drag wings. They're not really drag car wings. For the front, factory hood. These look to be just, I don't know, probably some D-Max headlights or something that are tinted. Same with the tail lights. We'll get around to that in a sec. Oh, how could I forget the wheels? The wheels are 57 CR Graham lights from Ray's. One of my favorite wheels for sure. So I'm not mad about it. And they're good sizes, 18 by 9.5 plus 22, 18 by 10.5 plus 22. Good spec for a street car. The color combo, I'm not sure what somebody was doing here. Kind of has like a stormtrooper vibe to it. Maybe a hot latte with some milk. I don't know. But this almost reminds me of like Heat Lightning Brown. I don't know if y'all know the Heat Lightning boys, but a bit of a resemblance to their color. Here's the back of the car. Smoke tail lights, not the biggest fan, but you know, I don't get to spec these cars out. People do them and you just buy them. But we'll change all this stuff eventually. Heading to the interior of the car now. Not too bad. It's not great, but it's really not bad. Recaro seat on this side, ride seat on that side. Down here we got a hole burned from a cigarette, which should be in every single Japanese car that you buy. If it's not, I'm not even sure it's from Japan, to be honest. And then look at this shift boot. This looks like, let me squeeze it so y'all can see. This looks like from Burlington Coat Factory or something. Not quite sure on that one. There's some wear and some marks on the door card. I don't know what somebody was trying to do with the red in the car on that side as well, but all in all, the interior's fairly nice. The head unit, unfortunately, is in Japanese only. Now this is the problem part. The roll cage on this car, the roll cage, it sits too far forward and too far into the car, so I can't fit. I mean, I can shove myself in here, but it is not comfortable by any means. My leg, when I have my foot on the clutch, is up against the steering wheel. Here, I'll show you on this side. So seat jammed as far back as it goes already, touching the cage. And this is just not enough room. Definitely made for a smaller person. Now the back is pretty cool because the roll cage, there's like a separate section back there that's like a bit of a strut tower type of vibe, but it has some other bars that go to the back deck. I don't know if you're able to see that, but it's cool because I like those bars and they're not attached to this main cage. So we'll just be able to take this out and then really get to dig the seat down and back as far as possible. Like majority of Japanese cars, it has DEFI gauges. What's cool is, well, first I like these gauges. They look really cool, they work. And the heat and AC still work on the car, which is awesome. Unfortunately, it doesn't work through the center vents because the gauges are there, but it is what it is. All right, let's pop the hood. I'll show you under the engine bay. SR motherfucking 20. DET, the Lord's motor, our Lord and Savior's engine for sure. Man, I've been wanting to get back in an SR car so bad that I'm really excited for it. But engine seems to be pretty much bone stock. Don't know what kind of manifold that is, but I've seen it on a few Japanese cars. It seems to be kind of rare to find with all the runners going in the same direction. I haven't seen many of them. I've seen them on a couple cars for sale. I'll try to find the brand. Don't know what it is. Turbo's factory. It has some, I don't know if maybe an American owned this in Japan, but you know, it has like a NRG sticker on the car back here. That's the only sticker on the outside of the car. It has some NRG lug nuts. I don't know where I was getting with that, but oh, it has some Flex-a-Light like fan, electric fans or something. Not a fan of electric fans on this. I definitely want the clutch fan back in. We'll probably end up doing that down the road. What's interesting to see is the Japanesiness of the car. You know, in Japan, they're not known for, you know, always doing the greatest of work or modifications when it comes to just getting certain stuff done. It's not always the cleanest. A lot of times it works, so, you know, don't get me wrong, the car works, everything works on it, but, you know, there's definitely some sketchiness going on here that, oh, the power wire is also a speaker cable from front to back. That's not cool, but we'll figure that out with time. For suspension and like drivetrain related mods, the car has a diff in it. I'm not sure what it is. I'm pretty sure it's like just some 1.5 or two-way diff. Majority of cars in Japan, they put diffs in it, which is weird. Like here in the US, people for drift cars, you know, we don't spend money on diffs. Like I've never bought some type of LSD here in the US. Majority of my friends have never bought LSDs here. It's like either you buy a car that just has it and you leave it, or you weld the diff when you're gonna go drift it. But it has a diff in it, which is cool, and it works, as you might have seen earlier in the video. It has some knuckle setup on it. The weld's questionable. Don't know if we'll leave it that way or if, you know, I think I wanna go for the whole like Naoki B knuckle setup on this car. To keep it like factory street parts, but have knuckles for angle, obviously. It has D-Max Super Street coilovers on it. Pretty much every arm's adjustable except for the rear lower, which is the normal route to go. A lot of people don't put lowers on these cars. I wouldn't either unless it was like a full competition car maybe. But it's got a lot of good parts on it. It's got good bones. Just got to make it my own from here, if you know what I mean. Another really cool thing about the car, it's not that cool, but it's cool to me because you just rarely ever see it. I've known of like one friend here from probably 10 years ago that had an SR with stock exhaust that's like super, super quiet. This car has a bone stock exhaust from the, like after the downpipe. It's all stock. So it has cats, it has the factory Nissan rear muffler. It is so, so quiet. All you hear is like the turbo flutter. And, you know, I was doing donuts outside and you can hear the tires against the pavement on wet ground more than you can the actual exhaust of the car. Kind of cool. I think as like a semi-daily driver, I might leave it that way for a little bit. It's kind of interesting. Anyways, that's gonna wrap it up for this video. I just wanted to show off this car and get a little video out there. I felt like, you know, there's not that much content that I have going on right now to film. So getting this car, I was just mad excited about it. Before I end it off, I really want to give a huge shout out to 3 people. Jordan from Tweed Auto Garage in Japan. That's the exporter that sourced, or I found the car, but he had posted the car, right? So he went through the process of going, looking at the car, buying the car, storing the car, shipping the car, pretty much everything on the Japan side. He took great care of me. It was super easy process to deal with. And then here on the US side, there's Richard from Runworks, R-U-N Works. He's the import service here that made it super, super easy to work with between Tweed Auto Garage, Runworks, and me as the owner or customer of the car. Man, it could not have been easier of a situation to deal with between shipping, importing the car, getting the right paperwork. They just have everything on lock. Honestly, their fees are really cheap that I think even if I were to, let's say, import 3 to 4 cars, you'd really have to import so many cars and be selling them, obviously, if that's what you're into, to want to do it yourself. Because honestly, their pricing is so good that if you're just going to try to import a car yourself, not worth trying to deal with all this paperwork and all this crazy stuff you got to do to import it. I'd really recommend hitting up Tweed if you're in Japan, or if you want a car from Japan, he can source it for you. Or if you find a car, he can buy it and be your liaison person over there in Japan to deal with everything. And then Runworks here. And then Lastly, I want to shout out my buddy James. I've been having some health problems to where I can't make long drives easily anymore. It's I don't want to get into it, to be honest, but he helped me. Took all day. We left 4:00 a.m. and got back probably around 7 p.m. So we were all day on the road, all day at the port, picking up the car. Huge shout out to him. Thanks so much to all three of y'all. Y'all really made this process really easy. And I'm really excited for this car and what's to come of it. I want to daily it, so I'm gonna be working on it kind of quick to try to get things wrapped up so I can drive it very often. Anyways, see y'all. Don't know when the next video will be. You'll just get it when you get it. Bye.